Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into a story of ambition, siege warfare, and the clash of empires. A story so monumental it sent shockwaves through the medieval world. We're talking about the fall of Constantinople, the crown jewel of the Byzantine Empire, and the audacious campaign that brought it to its knees. Get ready to journey back to 1453, a time when gunpowder was still a relatively new invention, and cannons were about to rewrite the rules of siege warfare. Our protagonist, a young, ambitious sultan named Mehmed II, who dreamed of achieving what no other ruler before him could, conquering Constantinople and carving his name into the annals of history. This is the audacious conquest of Constantinople, how Mehmed II changed history. Mehmed II, just 21 years old when he ascended to the Ottoman throne, inherited a realm on the cusp of greatness. But Mehmed had his eyes set on a prize that had eluded his forefathers for generations: Constantinople. This wasn't just about territorial ambition, it was about legacy. Constantinople, the last bastion of the Roman Empire, had stood defiant against countless sieges for over 1,000 years. Imagine the stories Mehmed must have heard growing up, tales of emperors and warriors who had tried and failed to breach the city's legendary defenses. Constantinople was more than just a city. It was a symbol of impregnability, a beacon of Christianity in a region increasingly dominated by Islam. To conquer Constantinople would be to cement Mehmed's place in history, to surpass the achievements of his predecessors, and to usher in a new era of Ottoman dominance. But how do you conquer a city that had defied conquest for centuries? A city protected by colossal walls, formidable natural defenses, and a determined enemy? Mehmed, a brilliant strategist and a ruthless leader, devised a daring plan. He invested heavily in artillery, commissioning the construction of massive cannons, the likes of which the world had never seen. These behemoths, capable of hurling enormous stone balls over vast distances, would be the key to shattering Constantinople's seemingly impenetrable defenses. But Mehmed's preparations went beyond brute force. He understood the importance of logistics and assembled a vast army, estimated to be over 100,000 strong. He also assembled a formidable navy to blockade Constantinople's harbor, cutting off vital supply lines and reinforcements. The stage was set for one of the most epic sieges in human history, a clash of civilizations that would determine the fate of an empire and reshape the political landscape of the medieval world. To truly grasp the audacity of Mehmed's ambition, we need to understand the magnitude of the challenge he faced. Constantinople, strategically positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, was a fortress city like no other. Imagine towering walls built in concentric layers, forming a formidable barrier against any attacker. These weren't just simple walls, they were architectural marvels designed to withstand the most determined assaults. The outer wall, lower but incredibly thick, was designed to break the initial wave of an attack. Behind it stood the inner wall, even taller and more imposing, studded with towers that provided archers with deadly fields of fire. These walls had withstood countless sieges, earning Constantinople a reputation for impregnability. But Constantinople's defenses went beyond its walls. The city was bordered by water on three sides: the Golden Horn to the north, the Sea of Marmara to the south, and the Bosporus Strait to the east. These natural barriers, combined with a strong Byzantine navy, made a direct naval assault incredibly difficult. And then there was the city itself, a bustling metropolis home to a diverse population of merchants, artisans, and soldiers. The citizens of Constantinople, though outnumbered, were fiercely loyal and prepared to defend their home to the death. They had faith in their emperor, Constantine VII, and in the city's legendary defenses. They believed that, like the countless sieges before, Constantinople would endure. But they had underestimated the ambition of Mehmed II and the destructive power he was about to unleash. The siege began in early April 1453, and from the outset it was clear that this was no ordinary siege. Mehmed had brought with him an arsenal of unprecedented power, massive cannons, the largest the world had ever seen. One of these behemoths, a monstrous cannon forged by the Hungarian engineer Orban, became the stuff of legends. Imagine the ground trembling as this colossal weapon, dragged by oxen and manned by a small army of men, was positioned within firing range of Constantinople's walls. The first deafening roar of the Ottoman cannons must have sent shockwaves through the city. Stone balls, weighing over 1,000 pounds, smashed against the ancient walls, sending tremors through the very foundations of Constantinople. The defenders, accustomed to catapults and battering rams, had never witnessed such destructive power. The psychological impact of these cannons, as much as the physical damage they inflicted, was devastating. Day after day, the Ottoman bombardment continued relentlessly. Walls that had stood for centuries began to crumble under the onslaught. The defenders, though putting up a valiant resistance, were fighting a losing battle against an enemy armed with such advanced technology. But the Byzantines were resourceful. They worked tirelessly to repair the damage using whatever materials they could find: stones, timber, even the rubble from collapsed buildings. They countered the Ottoman cannons with their own smaller artillery pieces, inflicting casualties and slowing the Ottoman advance. However, the defenders were running out of time, men, and options. The walls of Constantinople, once thought to be impregnable, were slowly but surely being reduced to rubble. Life inside Constantinople during the siege was a living hell. The relentless bombardment, the constant fear of death, and the dwindling supplies took a heavy toll on the city's inhabitants. Imagine the deafening roar of cannons, the screams of the wounded, and the cries of terrified children echoing through the once bustling streets. The air was thick with smoke and the stench of gunpowder and death. Food and water became increasingly scarce as the Ottoman blockade tightened its grip. People were forced to ration their meager supplies, and hunger stalked the city's streets. Disease, its spread exacerbated by overcrowding and unsanitary conditions, added to the misery. Yet despite the horrors of the siege, the spirit of resistance burned brightly within the hearts of the defenders. Men and women, young and old, fought side by side on the walls, determined to repel the invaders. They were inspired by their emperor, Constantine XI, who led from the front, sharing the dangers and hardships of his people. He rallied his troops, urging them to fight for their homes, their families, and their faith. Religious fervor played a significant role in bolstering the morale of the defenders. Processions through the streets, carrying icons and chanting prayers, were a common sight. The people of Constantinople, facing annihilation, placed their faith in God and their hope in a miracle. But as the siege dragged on and the Ottoman noose tightened, the question was not if Constantinople would fall, but when. On May 29, 1453, after weeks of relentless bombardment and numerous assaults, the Ottoman army launched its final, fateful attack. The defenders, exhausted and outnumbered, fought with the courage of desperation, but the outcome was inevitable. A small gate in the city walls, left slightly open in the chaos of battle, proved to be Constantinople's undoing. Ottoman soldiers poured through the breach, overwhelming the defenders and raising the Ottoman flag above the city walls. Constantine XI, the last Byzantine emperor, died defending his city, his body never found. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves throughout Christendom, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of the Ottoman Empire as a major power in the region. Mehmed II, true to his word, allowed his troops 3 days of plunder, a common practice at the time. However, he quickly moved to restore order, keen to rebuild Constantinople as the capital of his new empire. He renamed the city Istanbul, a name it retains to this day. The fall of Constantinople had far-reaching consequences. It marked a turning point in history, signaling the end of the medieval world and the dawn of the Renaissance. The influx of Byzantine scholars and texts into Western Europe following the conquest contributed to the flourishing of art, literature, and science that characterized the Renaissance. Mehmed II's conquest of Constantinople cemented his legacy as a brilliant military strategist and a ruthless conqueror. He became known as Mehmed the Conqueror, his name forever etched in the annals of history. The fall of Constantinople is a stark reminder of the cyclical nature of empires, the transformative power of new technologies, and the enduring human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. So there you have it, the dramatic story of the fall of Constantinople, a pivotal event that shaped the course of history. It's a story of ambition, ingenuity, and the clash of civilizations, a story that continues to fascinate and resonate with us centuries later. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more epic tales from the past. Let us know in the comments what other historical events you'd like us to cover. Remember, history isn't just about dates and names. It's about understanding the forces that have shaped our world and the lessons we can learn from the past. So stay curious, keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next video.